Hi, I have in front of me a Triax TMM 5-way satellite and terrestrial splitter. Basically, we have 5 inputs and 10 outputs on this. And the idea of this is to take feed inputs from a quattro LNB in a terrestrial aerial and allow it to be split, to be fed not to one multi-switch, but to 2 separate multi-switches. So it's a really clever product. It saves a lot of the need for people to look at using cascade equipment, because that's quite expensive, because what type of cascade do you want to have in terms of how many outputs, all the rest of it. So going with something like this gives a lot of flexibility in terms of the design and setup systems, and it's proved to be very, very popular. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give an overview exactly what we're going to receive. We'll take a detailed overlook of the product itself, and then I'll give an example of how we'd actually set it up here. So it comes in this outer box here. It's obviously manufactured by Triax. It's available with low-cost shipping from freetv.ie. There's 4 a series of screws here, nuts and things like that, which can be used for mounting this either onto a rack or directly onto a piece of timber or wall, something like that. So look at the input side here. So if we look at the inputs, there's an earth here first of all. We have a terrestrial input here. It's an F-type connection. They all are. Just come with plastic covers on it. And we see the color codes here. So what we have is horizontal high, we're along with vertical high, and on the low side here we have horizontal and vertical again. So the color codes there will match the color codes that we have on our quattro LNB. And I'll just flick this unit over to the output side, and what we'll see is it's duplication now. So again, we have exactly the same things in terms of terrestrial, but we also have all the quattro outputs here, but in duplicate here. And to give you an idea of how we'd set this up, if we come along, I'll just clear this desk off. And we'll just say that we have we'll say an 80 centimetres dish set up, and we have our quattro LNB on it. What we can do is we can feed the signal down, and we can feed them directly in here. So 4 cables coming from there into the input side here. And if we imagine the TV aerial over here, and maybe a run of CT100 running directly over here. So now we have inputs from both satellite and terrestrial here. And on the output side, we can imagine that we have multi-switches such as these. These are smart titanium multi-switches. So what we'd have here is we want to have the inputs here. So what we can do is we can run directly from this first series of outputs here. We can run directly in here, and we can feed the first multi-switch here. Now this is, I think, an 8-way multi-switch, but we could have, we'll say, a 32-way multi-switch here either, which we have inside our range. And we do the same here, except now we're taking a feed directly off of this, okay? So all of a sudden now, it gives a lot of flexibility in terms of how we're doing the setup on it. And if we went to an existing setup where we had a multi-switch put in already, we want to put in an additional one, and there's no free ports, all of a sudden we can just retrofit this in, split the signal, put a new multi-switch in, not just in the same location, but in a different location, run the feeds to it, and off we go. So it really, really is extremely easy to set up, and it's something that's been a huge success for us here at freetv.ie, because simply now when people are coming along and they're not certain on the scale of the project they want to do, or various things like this, what they can do is they can come along and they can have a lot of flexibility. In terms of this splitter here, this is called a 510, but we also have a 520, which obviously can support up to 4 multi-switches, and multi-switches are generally, the most popular ones would be 8 outputs. We also have 16, and 32s are somewhat popular as well. So if we went for a 32, it'd be 4 times that. So basically we're looking at 128 outputs from a single satellite dish. So that's obviously would be a very big development complex, something like that. And it gives the flexibility that we can put these multi-switches in various locations, so maybe on different levels, things like that. So that's it anyway, an overview of the 510 satellite and terrestrial splitter from Triax, available directly from freetv.ie.